It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Q Time is a classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earthblend Coffee.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
All right, everybody, good evening and welcome to Grumpy Old Nerds. As we get ready to start it off, unfortunately, we are without our fearless leader tonight. The OG Grumpy Old Nerd is not in. He had some personal things that he is taking care of. So let us first shout out and say, so we miss you. But as our first discussion, we'll
will state sometimes you must carry on, and you cannot let things happen. So just to introduce everybody, and as we go ahead and start doing, as we normally do, right down every y'all you see is Auntie Nicole doing her thing. Right over there in the corner is Rod who joined us. And right there is Uncle DJ doing his
Yes, sir.
and making it happen. Hey, DJ, we didn't bless the bottle tonight. Is that what? Is we bless the bottle? What's the deal?
We lost.
Did you hear me yet?
What's up?
You lost you for a split second.
DJ?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I said, is Uncle John the only one that can bless the bottle tonight? Deal.
Your audio is really bad.
Okay, so I don't know if
it's his audio, right?
Whose audio is bad? Is it my audio is bad?
Yeah.
Your audio is bad.
Is that better?
Well, where's your microphone?
It's on my phone, where it always is.
Okay, all right. I guess so.
Hey man, you had the Transformer voice for a little bit.
Okay, well, cool. So what I was saying was, Uncle DJ, is it only Uncle John that can bless a bottle? We haven't blessed a bottle or anything.
Oh.
We don't know what's going on.
No. I was waiting till your remiss, but we can get that out the way right now. Go ahead and bless the bottle. There you go. Thank you very much.
There you go. All right.
Come on, smack the screen. Smack the screen. There you go. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was waiting, man.
Oh, okay.
Y'all got a brother thirsty over here.
I have a bottle of
Right. That's one of those things we got to jump on from the start of the show.
All right.
So, in honor of
Crack
Uncle
the Jack,
John,
get you right.
Gotta get you right.
in honor of Uncle John, I would be remiss. I drink it, I know things. Yeah, there you go. I would be remiss if, as someone who was a staunch advocate, an extreme fan, and was still very hopeful of the Black Lightning show, I would be remiss if I didn't say just how pissed off I am, and I absolutely hate the way that they do it this week.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna get into it too much because I want us to jump into the main question. But I just really think that this is one of the challenges that we have with what they do with Black superheroes, is that they take too much time trying to make them socially relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what causes their writing to go astray or to get lost in things, because they put too much focus on that, as opposed to just a major story of the good versus the evil and the things that are going on in the battle. And that you do that, because I think that's another reason that they lost a lot of people who were not Black people who watched the show. And so those are the things that, we really I think they really need to work on. One thing in particular, Tobias Whale, in seasons 2 and 3, I think he was his best. He has gone back to being very cartoonish to me, and how they write his dialogue, how they treat him as a villain. It's like he's a low-rent Wilson Fisk, like a really, really low-rent Wilson Fisk. And I think because Wilson Fisk was such a great character in that vein, then we all sit back and say, okay, this is now who you're going to be judged by. And it's not the brother's fault. I really think if they gave him better stuff to work with, that he would be better in his thing. But it's just, if you've seen it, please somebody else tell me that I'm not the only one who thinks he seems to be overacting everything right now.
Well, listen, man.
Go ahead. No, I was going to agree with him totally, because that's exactly who I was thinking of. And I agree that, when he first came on the scene, it was like, at first I was like, okay, this dude, let me see what's up with this villain. Let me see what's up with this dude. And then I started to, he had his own vibe. Like you said, the second and third season, he had his own vibe. I think the problem is that they're trying to make him Wilson Fisk. They got the whole, the whole thing. Oh, he's working behind the scenes. Is he legit? Is he not legit? Yeah, we know he's not legit. Let's just see what. It's the whole Wilson Fisk thing. It's the whole,
Right.
And so that they took him away from what he was doing. and said, "Oh, this is what we want you to do. We want you to be Wilson Fisk." And I think he's uncomfortable in that vibe. They should have kept him, doing his thing.
I think that the show as a whole suffers from what Arrow would have suffered from had they not decided that they were going to use villains that weren't specifically geared to the Green Arrow. And they used some of DC's more interesting villains. A lot of the villains that they use in Arrow weren't really Arrow villains that he's used to dealing with. They had Ra's al Ghul. They had Count Vertigo. That's a Green Arrow villain. Ra's al Ghul is a Batman villain.
Right.
You have who else was they have that's somebody else's, that's really somebody else's that
Bro, was it Bronze Tiger?
Nissa Al Ghul, Bronze Tiger. Bronze Tiger is kind of like everywhere, but he wasn't specifically a Green Arrow villain. You know what I mean? They just brought people in. And during the runs of the Black Lightning comic, you really didn't have notable villains. You just kind of had like villain of the week, a stereotype type dude. Whereas in the show now, that's what they're kind of dealing with. But I think if they brought more people or more villains who weren't necessarily
Okay. No, we lost Rod.
There you go.
There you go.
I think a villain got you.
Yeah, it's trying to take over my system. All right, but yeah, if you deal with people.
He's bumping it out. So okay.
I think it's what's
what I think would have been great for them
Bill
to
Gates
do?
is getting you.
Yeah, he said something about somebody that he didn't like.
Rob been talking about he been talking about Bill Gates or somebody.
Right. Here's what I thought would have been great, and I'm sure this is because I'm still channeling my inner John in this particular position. Black Lightning would have been the ideal place for the DC/Warner Brothers people to bring in the milestone villains. It would have been ideal for them to put them in the same universe, put Dakota in the same universe that they were in, and allow them to cross over, because it just gave you, they didn't have anybody outside of Tobias who ended up with any substance. And it's like him and the ASA were really the only two villains in the process.
No, wait a minute. That Voodoo brother is I dig the Voodoo brother. I mean, Milk is chilling. The guy with the that can't die. The guy that's got the tats of the people he killed, the souls of the people he killed and stuff.
Mr. Tattoo, I think is his name. When Rod comes back, I'm sure he said
that's a bad brother.
He wasn't actually a villain to me. Mr. Tattoo is bored, so he's an antagonist. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I don't think he was a villain, because remember, he actually cleared his beef with Black Lightning in the first season when he realized, oh hell, I was the one that killed Shorty. He was like, Black Lightning didn't kill him. I did that.
You know how many people he killed?
Yeah, no, but Mr.
He killed the sister.
Yeah. So everybody that Lala killed came back as tattoos on. So no, like I said, I didn't look at him as a villain.
Lala,
he wasn't going against Black Lightning.
He's a gangbanger and a. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, he's running a gang that's killing people.
That's why I called him an antagonist. To me, a villain is
not a villain.
To me, a villain is someone who has direct conflict with the superhero in the movie or the series. That's what it is to me.
Just because he respects Mr. What's Black Lightning's real name? Mr. Jefferson Pierce. Just because he respects Mr. Pierce doesn't make him that less of a villain. I mean, sometimes, I mean, hell, Batman has worked together with, different people to for different reasons, whatever. Certain superheroes work with, my enemy is your enemy type deal. But Lala is evil, man.
Straight up evil.
Again,
I mean, yeah, I would. That brother got to go. He, you know, I mean, I hate that the chick took him out, you know, and put him underneath the concrete, you know, and that's where I stopped. So I need to catch up. But you know, I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, and I know don't spoil it for me, but you know, Lala had needed to go. I like him. I do like him. But if he was in my neighborhood, yeah, I'd be trying to figure out how to you know send him back, you know, wherever the hell, you know, he came from.
I just want to finish my point. Hey, use somebody else's villains. Use other villains. That's all. Don't try to create new.
Right.
Don't try to find obscure Black Lightning villains. Use other villains.
But he's right about the milestone. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been good.
You missed what I was saying. I said this would have been the perfect place for Warner Brothers / DC to introduce the milestone villains was in Black Lightning.
Yeah,
Right.
the Dakota verse.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep. It would have been the ideal place for that. So yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you
yeah,
could have had
man,
Icon and Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Auntie Nicole.
I have to actually get into it because I never really got into the show. I don't know.
Man.
I know, right?
I just see. I don't get it. It's got. I mean, it's got black people. It's got a banging. The soundtrack is off the chain. The powers, the whole deal. You know, you get into the backstory. I mean, come on. What
I
is
know.
a miss
put it like
for
this.
you?
I mean, you know, a lot of times there's things that happen where it competes with certain things, and then I'll get into a whole nother thing. Like when anything with Star Wars, or, you know, now that Disney owns everything, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I literally find myself enthralled in there, you know, Mandalorian's on, what have you. So if there's something that's on during the same time, and, you know, I probably get so involved in what I'm wanting to see, that becomes secondary. Now, don't get me wrong, I like a ton of other stuff, but it's just that it's like, I guess when this must have came out, I was literally into something else. I kid you not. I have not watched, please don't take my geek card away, but I have not watched one episode of Black Lightning.
No. It's not your geek card I want to take away. I actually want to know, like, you know, do you just have 2, 5, 7, 9, and 32? You know, you just, I mean, you know, you can't, you know, like stream, you know, at different times,
see,
you know,
don't
whatever you want.
My universe in my head expands. I like scary movies too. So I'm all into like certain types of movies and stuff. So it's just not enough time in the day.
Oh my
for stuff for me to always watch everything and stuff. Now, mind you, when there's certain things, especially when the hype is big and stuff, and I'm really waiting for something, I'll get to watch it. I told myself I would go ahead and try to start. I would start the first season of Black Lightning and try to see if I can get into it, because I literally have not watched it.
Actually, Nicole, you should binge it. I think you will. I think you'll get into it. If you binge it, I think it'll be something for you to watch.
Yeah.
All I want to say is it's a predominantly black cast,
Mm-hmm.
and if I hear your ass been binging Friends or West Wing, you know, then there's a problem.
No, I guarantee you, I would not be binging Friends.
Not when you can watch Living Single.
James said,
oh my gosh, right?
James made actually a good point. It would have. He says Black Lightning would have worked better as an HBO Max series. Serious subject matter that it deals with. It really is, because he says it's too hard to deal with on the teen drama based CW.
Yeah,
and that's what CW is. It's teen angst stuff. Max series.
Well, it's so funny that you bring that up, because it was something I was watching, and I think that's part of why some shows fail, because the content needs to be, when you take a movie or a show and you take it down, and it needs to be PG, 13 or whatever it is, instead of it just being an R and such.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're taking away the exact interest that brought people to like whatever it is you're trying to watch. And so when you turn around and you try to make it palatable to children or teenagers and so on like that, you start taking the heart out of certain things. Yeah, it's probably a little much, parents don't want this, that, and the other thing. But if it's that serious, then your children shouldn't be watching it. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it's just that simple. I am such a staunch proponent of people who want to blame TV and everything. I think I brought this up before when The Walking Dead had the episode where Negan had the bat and he was sitting there swinging at old boy and killed 2 dudes and stuff in one of the seasons there. Parents was in such an uproar about that. He said that's like torture porn and it shouldn't be on TV. And my kids would, and it,
so the dead people eating people was all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm like, so this particular night, you get to see something a little bit raw. The point is that you, the parent, got this on in your house. That's not stopping. You know what I'm saying? You're the one that needs to turn that off.
Didn't The Walking Dead come on at like 10 o'clock, 10:30 on Sunday?
Yeah, it was late. It came on late. It was like 9 o'clock or something like that. And I'm like, you're the one. This is your house. This is the house that you pay rent or pay the mortgage on. You control that TV and everything. Not to mention TVs have parental controls and all kinds of stuff now. So it's like for parents to sit there and blow up because they had that on. First of all, it's not even a regular TV channel. It's on, AMC. So you have to have cable anyway in order to watch it. So, I mean, and that's what I mean. When it comes to some of like the thing I was talking about with Batman and so on, I think sometimes when you start trying to make these things more lollipop, so, you can get this younger generation involved, that's where you go wrong. People like the characters because quite honestly, when it comes to DC, their characters are raw and gritty and dark and so on like that. Marvel is a little bit more cookie cutter, regardless. And they have a couple of dark storylines, but I mean, come on, really? You can't get mad when they really want to show somebody's head exploding and stuff. That's why it's kind of interesting to see, see cartoons and stuff now, like the stuff with Invincible and everything. That's great. But you're going to have a parent saying, oh, wow, this is not for children. No, it's not for children.
No, it's not. Why are you watching it with your kid?
Absolutely.
Right.
All television shows have ratings now. So you see this before the show starts. It tells you that the show is going to be dealing with violence, mature content, sexuality, nudity, and all of that. So if you see that and you still let your kid watch it, like Nicole says, that's on you.
That's on you as a parent.
James,
well, other than, go ahead.
Go ahead, DJ. I'll let you say your point first.
I was just gonna say Black Lightning. I mean, did kind of go after school special sometimes, but as soon as Thunder came on the screen, it was like, hey, we didn't went Skinamax up in here, because her storyline was off the chain.
Skinamax after midnight.
Man, as soon as she walked on screen, it was like, hey.
You know what? And actually, that's similar to what I was about to say. If they had made the story, instead of being Black Lightning, if they had done a Thunder and Lightning series with the focus more on the daughters, that would have resonated with the CW's audience. Especially with the fact with Thunder being black, I think. Or being black and gay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
But before we go down that rabbit hole, to our next topic of discussion. It is probably one of the most debated things right now in whether or not Marvel should recast T'Challa's character. Of course, we know Chadwick Boseman, his tragic death, dying of cancer. And because of the fact that it was the first Marvel movie to do, I think $1 billion, it was the first one to be led with a particular all-black cast. It was Marvel's first primary black superhero movie, and it did all of this stuff. And he played the role so iconically to most people that there's this movement. Initially, it was like, oh, no, don't recast it. Can't recast it. You got to do something different. And I want to say, I think for about 45 minutes to an hour, I'm being facetious, but longer than that, I was on that bandwagon of not recasting him.
Me too.
I was on that bandwagon, but I started to think about the genre and what we are dealing with. We are dealing with the comics. We are dealing with some things. and I'll say this: I was more don't recast it because in my mind, I knew I had looked at enough stuff to know how intricate the Black Panther, quote unquote, the Black Panther character was to the Marvel storyline moving forward. So I was like, okay, you shouldn't have killed Killmonger off in the first place. Let's bring him back. You know, there are multiple ways you can do it. That was my idea. And I was all for the not recasting of Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa. As I started thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that's not such a good idea. One, because we still need young kids to have that visual. They need that character in there. You need to find, T'Challa needs to be in this mix. He needs to be around. The Black Panther and the T'Challa Black Panther needs to be around.
Right.
All time. And the other piece to that, which is one of the points that I was going to make about it, is that T'Challa is hell, who Black Panther has been since the 60s in the comics.
Right.
Outside of the period where Shuri took over, I think, and some other people may have done it too. So they've got years and years of storylines that they can do.
Right.
Let's start with Auntie Nicole and give her opportunity to talk about some of this.
Well, I mean, my biggest thing was just that initially, and actually for a long, I would say even up until recently, I was like, nope, don't recast them. And it was more, I think it was more emotional than anything because
it was grief.
Because it was like, damn, we finally got us this is up front, out in the open. Everybody sees him. There's restraints on him. He is a a spectacular character. It's not something,
openly black.
Right. Legally black. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Type of thing. Because it's like a lot of characters you see, even when you see successful Black people on TV, a lot of times they got to give you that sad story on up to, where they finally made it and all this other kind of stuff. This was a character where it showed, yes, this is who we could have been, the way they re-envisioned. I think it was just the whole hype. Look at how they envisioned Wakanda, this beautiful African country, when technically when you watch TV nowadays, you see Africa, all you're seeing is the stuff that's all been just destroyed. You know what I'm saying? You don't see the wonderful parts of Africa that hasn't been destroyed. You know what I'm saying? As such.
Right.
So it was just a very emotional type of thing. But, when I sat there and I watched this review, I said, I was kind of coming off of it a little bit, but this review, was kind of a little deep because one of the things he did is he played a clip from T'Challa's brother. And his brother sat there. One of his things was he thought it would be something. The reason why they probably wouldn't recast him, it wasn't so much about just Chadwick Boseman's death, but he thought maybe it may be more you can't have yourself a Black king. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. You can't have this, movies and stuff is only going to let this go so far for so long type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Kind of sort of that I got from his brother's response. So they never sat there and said that the family was just, don't do it, don't do anything. But he felt kind of like that whole conspiracy theory thing. It was successful, but now he's gone. So we're not going to really push that envelope anymore. So we're just going to stop there type of thing.
His was more conspiratorial.
Right.
As far as what I got from the brother was just like he was making a political point,
right,
a social point that because it was so big and because T'Challa basically wound up being the king,
right,
and not just the king, but what Black Panther
intelligent, all that stuff, yeah,
everything. But what Black Panther did was basically showed that who you guys may think that you're like in charge of the world and you're all these white men and even the Muslim kings and stuff like that are out there and and they got all this oil and stuff, and he's like, yeah, that's nice, your oil and shit, we don't even use that shit,
right.
Like Wakanda is light years ahead.
Absolutely, and that's always been. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but I was just saying that I agree that that his brother was making the point that, oh no, we can't, we can't have that where this
people
black
see
man
this
and
image. This image can't
this,
perpetuate.
Wakanda,
Right. You know what I'm saying?
the king is more powerful than anybody else in the world, more powerful, more intelligent, more, richer, whatever you want to, put it. Like this little place is like, the bomb and is about to take over.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that they always say, like, say, when you sit back and you read throughout history and so on, Black people have always been intelligent, but it takes media to sit there and take that out because of the roles that they got a lot of Black people to play, you know what I'm saying? And everything. When you look back at some of those old movies and you got the Black men dancing like sambos and doing all those kind of stuff, when the camera cut, those dudes was probably, very intelligent, men and women and people who
classically trained actors.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? These people were at the top of their game and everything, but
they would do Shakespeare if they could.
Right. Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And would do a damn good job.
Absolutely.
Then they would do they would, and not just Othello.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's just the whole thing. So, when I thought about it, the one thing, just so we put it out there, E-Man's reviews, he's a Black gentleman that he does a lot of reviews on a bunch of different things. And of course, Black Panther is really big with him. And even with New Rock Stars, which is the videos in which he was talking about, they talk a lot, they're a big channel, you know what I'm saying, and so on. But like New Rock Stars, they feel that we shouldn't be recasting. It should be, we need to respect, Chadwick Boseman, his death and everything about it. And E-Man's reviews is like, nah, like you can't put the mantle down just because, these are comics. These are people that perpetuate in writing, in film, and everything else. You know what I'm saying? And I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I said, he's right. I said, because, when New Rock Stars brought up the point on, to put that kind of pressure, have the kind of pressure on a new actor to take up that mantle and so on, that's their job. That's what you do. Every, actor goes out there to be able to try to wow the audience. So, if somebody becomes the new Black Panther, they're not sitting there, going, they may be nervous, but, they're not going to sit there and be like, well, I didn't do as great of a, this. They're not going to be down on themselves. You got to go out there knowing that you're going to give it your best and so on. And that's what you do. You don't sit there feeling so much pressure because of the fact, or feel like you can't do it because someone else did it. Yes, we have, fantastic actors and so on like that throughout history, but there are characters in certain movies and films and all kinds of stuff that they want to keep perpetuating. Think about the whole thing with James Bond. People lost their crap when they sat there and found out it was going to be a Black woman that was going to be, as they put it, James Bond. And I'm like, no, she's, and as it was corrected too, even for me, she's going to be a new 007. She's not James Bond. Right.
But even before that, when they were talking about, having Idris Elba or whatever, a Black man, for years, they were losing their shit. Like, no.
Absolutely.
James Bond can't be Black, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, fine,
Absolutely.
I mean, even in Chicago, they don't want to recast the Black mayor, Harold Washington, because they're like, no, you had one. We're good. We're not going to recast a black Chicago mayor.
We can't have another one in there.
Well, that was good. You had your one. You had your one. But I mean, I just want to take it a little bit deeper, just a little bit deeper, because I am so curious as to the way, it's kind of a cliffhanger, the way they left Black Panther. The last scene is T'Challa and Shuri coming to America as ambassadors. And he's like, yeah, Shuri, I bought this, I bought that, I bought that, I bought that. And we're going to show, we're basically going to reach out and stuff. We can't keep this to ourselves any longer. My thing is taking it a little bit further. And I kind of get where your boy on the video and then the rock stars, these white guys, it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. How how is that social political thing gonna work out? Because now you have Wakanda coming out to the world, and you know the joke was, you know, colonizer. And we laughed every time they said it. But what about the colonizers that are basically all over Africa and have been ruling Africa for generations, for hundreds and hundreds of years? What happens when Wakanda decides, you know what, we're not sitting in the background anymore? So Britain, Japan, China, you know, all you guys got to get them out of Africa because we're reclaiming our land. You know.
Well, I mean, they said
so
they
that's
weren't
a
going
whole.
to. Yeah, that's true. But they did say that they weren't going to.
They said they weren't going to battle.
Countries.
They said they weren't going to battle. Well, I'm saying like Killmonger was basically like, fuck this, you know, wipe them all out.
Right.
You know, but you
Killmonger
know,
was a little bit
like,
deeper.
No, we're just gonna.
What I would say about Killmonger.
Oh no, he was gonna kill everybody.
No, I get it. But what I'm saying is that I think what happened with him is that he was more of a, like, it was a part of it that was jaded. And it was because you had the opportunity to help your people. You know what I'm saying? And you did not do anything.
Absolutely.
So think for instance, slavery could have never happened. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of, you know, when you think about the gravity of that whole idea, you could have stopped all of this. You know what I'm saying? 1800s and all this other kind of stuff, and you didn't. And so and you had the power. You've been living here, yes, kings and queens and everything, such as you are, and you didn't do anything to help anybody else. So what you have technically is worthless when you cannot help. So, you know what I'm saying, and so on. And I think when you look at them trying to recast, there's that other side which kind of sort of is where his brother is saying, you're going to have a bunch of impressionable kids that looks at this and everything. Think about when Black Panther came out, how everybody was doing the whole Coming to America thing and all kinds of stuff. Because think about it mentally. Coming to America was one of the last movies that was out where a Black character did not have to start off being Sambo, poor, or anything else. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the last movies we got where the Black man was just straight up on top, rich, everything. You know what I'm saying? Top king of.
Well, take it back. I got it. We got to give Eddie Murphy even more credit than that. You know, because you know his Coming to America, his Boomerang with the Black corporation,
absolutely.
You know, and then even to a certain extent, Harlem Nights, where it's like, you know, they're doing what, $20,000 shit on a Monday. They're doing $20,000 on a Monday. You know, it's like we don't even do that on a Saturday. You know, so you know, Black people running things. You know, Eddie Murphy is, you know, not quietly, but I mean, Eddie Murphy has kind of always been like, you know, we can run shit.
That's my point. And it's like, and so I can see where his brother, T'Challa's brother was going. I mean, T'Challa, I'm sorry, Chadwick Boseman's brother was going because of the fact that
T'Challa's brother.
Yeah, there you go. Because of the fact that he feels, it kind of came out like he feels like you can't have. They're not going to allow too many of these positive roles. You know what I'm saying? Black people, we don't want Black folks to keep thinking, you know, like the powers that be. This is something that's attainable.
To me, that's exactly why they need to recast him.
And that's why, and that's what made me think of that. And that's what made me think of that.
I know that people, like, when it first happened, you know, like you said, it was real emotional. A lot of people were acting out of emotion. It was like, nah, we can't recast it. Like, Chad was perfect. But, you know, you got to think down the line. Okay, at some point, somebody else has to take up this role.
Absolutely.
This role is too important.
Somebody's got to take up the mantle, as take up the mantle.
As he took it from T'Chaka.
Right.
He has to, that person, that character has to be prominent in the MCU for a lot of reasons.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
One of them being because little Black boys and girls. The reason that took off so much is because little Black boys and girls saw this man who wasn't a drug dealer. He wasn't a gangster. He was a king. He was an intelligent,
absolutely,
in shape, athletic,
Absolutely.
king.
Hey,
You know
hey,
what I mean?
hey, hey, hey.
And he was somebody that, you know, the other people around him he got their respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
And
know, you saw it in Civil
that's what I
War.
appreciated the character for, because, and that's what I mean, like when I was saying, it's like, here it is. Think about it in terms of how we don't get the roles and things like that we should be getting in some of these movies and so on like that, and we've been turned down. So long ago, we got that image with Eddie Murphy and Coming to America. And people, you know, I even listened to people when Black Panther came out, and people was like, "Why everybody doing this Eddie Murphy thing? That's coming to." I'm like, "You're missing the point." I said, first of all, it was recognition. Think about it. That was the last Black king we got to see on film. Eddie
Other
Murphy.
than Martin
Zamunda
Luther.
forever, baby.
You know,
Zamunda.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, so when you think about it in those terms, we still not getting a fair shake. So here it is,
Right.
we get Black Panther, and now it's like, wow, we finally, you know, back in light like that. You know, they finally showing us.
And it's a superhero.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And we running toe to toe with Iron Man and all that kind of stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's what got me to thinking again. And I was like, you know what? So when I was listening to E-Man's reviews, I was like, he has a point. I said, yeah. I said, they do need to go ahead. Now, I mean, honestly, I started thinking like, who could even do that role?
I don't think it's somebody that we even know about right now.
Right, but there's so many. I mean, a lot of people weren't hip to, you know, Boseman. A lot of people before Michael
B. Jordan.
Thank you. Michael B. Jordan bust out on the scene, you know, with Fruitvale Station and really showed, you know, his range.
Right.
Did we know that he was a superstar as he is, you know? My thing is, I have one caveat though. And James, one of our guys, you know, watching, James said, you just got to figure out a good explanation on the death of T'Challa. If, you know, if they're gonna kill off T'Challa in that way and not recast him.
Right.
I have a caveat. I will walk out the fucking theater, you know, if what's his girlfriend's name? T'Challa's girlfriend?
Nakia.
Nakia. If they have her on stage, if they have her on screen going, damn, I'm gonna be real pissed off. Be really pissed off.
They have a lot of different ways if they want to kill off the character. I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Because, well, I mean, even if they do say that he's dead, nobody in Marvel stays dead if they don't want him to.
Nobody stays dead.
Yeah. So
I was thinking about the whole astral plane thing. Like, you remember when they was showing him talking to his father,
right?
And so on, in that ethereal type of thing or so on, where they would use that as a way of keeping his character, quote unquote, alive, but not alive. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. Right. Because when you look at a lot of the characters that have been, quote unquote, like Black Panther, so to speak, there's been other people that picked up that mantle and so on in the comics. They're done, and this was the thing that E-Man, and I sat there and I didn't even think about it. It was done from the perspective from T'Challa. You see what I'm saying? So you would have to have his something or another to perpetuate, you know what I'm saying, in order to bring other people to the mantle of Black Panther. So I'm thinking maybe that is how they can bring in a character, you know what I'm saying? Like, say, with the point of T'Challa being the one of doing it. Because one thing he made a point of that I thought was pretty interesting, I think when you think about Captain America, and this is from E-Man's review, he said, when we got the story of Captain America, we had to get to know him. We had to have a story about him and everything. And basically it ended up giving us closure, which was able to allow Sam to come in, pick up that mantle, and people not lose their shit. You know what I'm saying? It told the story of him. And you know, they're gonna end up doing a story about what's his name? Captain the Old Cap, you know what I'm saying, soon. And you know, people still won't be tripping out. But people, it seems like more or less, they're willing to accept Sam being Captain America. Now, prior to getting, you know what I'm saying, what's his name story, Sam may not, you know, they would have just handed Sam Captain America. that probably wouldn't have went down the way it would have went down. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be able to see Chris Evans in the role and see the nuances of being Captain America. And now that we recognize that Sam carries the same ideals, you know what I'm saying, with the old Cap, people are willing to accept it. So I'm thinking, in essence, this is how they're going to have to do Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why they can't, I don't think they can do it as he died. You know what I'm saying? It would have to be something else.
Yeah.
So, as Uncle John would say, first before I continue, hey, welcome Uncle Percy in the booty chair.
The booty chair, Uncle Percy.
Yes, people. It was my fault. I called everybody. I butt dialed you as I was walking out the door.
Wait a minute. Did you call us, or did the butt chair call
us? Which butt cheek, Uncle Percy?
it was the right one. The right one did it.
It's always the right one.
Yeah.
And then me and Nicole was like, well, let's go ahead and have a discussion since we got butt dialed.
I was eating at the same time too.
Yeah, I'm driving. I'm on my way home, and I'm like, wait a minute, y'all giving away the show? Y'all talking about the show?
You said we having the show before the show.
Right.
But what do you guys think? I mean, about what you saw.
Here's my thing about this whole thing, because I haven't seen the E-Man comments, and I actually follow E-Man, and definitely want to shout that brother out. E-Man reviews. If you're not following the brother on YouTube or in social media, go ahead and do it. E-Man's reviews.
Yeah, I shared them. I shared them on my page.
I like his stuff.
But here's my thing. So I'm gonna go back to even the whole premise of what the next storyline was supposed to be with the Black Panther 2. It was supposed to be the Two Kings story, where it was the conflict between Atlantis and Wakanda.
Okay.
You know, that was going to be it. They were talking down the line about the MCU Illuminati, which, of course, Black Panther is a prominent member of. One of the things that was the main reason that I did not, where everybody else was so hyped about them pushing Shuri to the front already, to me, I was like, that's a huge mistake, because I thought they were going to have to use Shuri as the linchpin for the Young Avengers. That they were going to, because she was, when you really think about it and look at all of the other characters that they would be bringing in, she would be the only one who could even lead that group.
Right.
At this point. Because all of these other people are just going to be coming into their own as superheroes, whether it's just getting their powers or abilities and stuff. And so I was like, no, don't make Shuri the Black Panther yet. Give her time to develop in that. And again,
and you know what?
I said,
me and Uncle John poo-pooed you on that. But you know what I just talked about with the last scene of Black Panther, where, you know, T'Challa told her, you're going to be in America in charge of this. That is a perfect opportunity, you know, for her to, you know, have, you know, she's already got these, you know, these buildings that she's going to be, you know, in charge of, and this whole ambassadorship and stuff. That is a perfect opportunity for her to get this, you know, band of Young Avengers together. That is absolutely perfect.
Now, is she part of Young Avengers in the comics?
No,
I don't think so.
That's what I was
thinking. We have to think about it. This is one of those things, again, that they can change in the MCU storyline that's not flowed in there. Because let's be realistic about something else. And I'm sorry. A 17, 16, even 18-year-old Shuri is not beating M'Baku in a fight with no powers. It is not happening.
No.
Okay. Okoye is a different situation. But if you are the challenge day is how you become Black Panther. Period. End of discussion.
Right. No one else, but if no one challenges.
That's if no one challenges. M'Baku is not gonna go for that. No matter what he did for T'Challa at the end of that first movie, he is definitely not going to willingly turn over the country to
To Shuri. No, he's not going to do it.
But I don't think they would
you
do
can-
that
listen,
as a
listen.
storyline either. Like her, male female fights like that.
They would put that as they could easily put that as part of a storyline as to why it's a way to prove that she is worthy of having a heart-shaped herb, that she's able to beat M'Baku somehow in combat. Now I can tell you that he would be clowned mercilessly for the rest of his life should he lose to a child.
Yeah.
So that might be a reason why he wouldn't. They come up with some way, they write some way in where, he does something stupid or something else happens or she wins by dumb luck or whatever. But, however it happens, they could find a way for her to have the mantle and become the Panther.
Well, he could always become an MMA champion,
Right. Then she can use that experience as Roy if you want her to be, leading the Young Avengers down the line. That makes sense.
Come on, Uncle Percy. Come on.
So this is how I think how the movie should start.
Here we go.
They should use real life experiences. The man died of cancer. The whole thing about this whole Black Panther thing is he's never had superhuman powers. It was a technology. So what the storyline could basically say is he got sick. He had cancer. He died. And now the throne is open. Now Siri can sit up there and go for it because technically, isn't she? If she's being trained by the ladies,
Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
And she do what they tell her to do. Who knows? She probably can beat a Barco without even blinking an eye. It might be a little rough at first, but if she gets trained the right way, and the reason why I'm saying that because after watching whoop Captain America's ass and Falcon.
Oh my God, yes.
I truly believe if they go down that road, I think this be a hell of a movie. And
so you don't want them to recast.
And I know, Roy, you're looking at it as 18-year-old. What if just move it up 7 years? Just move it up. Just push it up.
Well, but see, here's the other problem with that.
She's like 22.
Again, T'Challa is supposed, but she's not 22 in the movie.
Right.
She's only 18 in the movie.
So move the age up. Move it up.
Move up. But that's what I was about to say, Percy. They can't just think. We're talking about the MCU. They can't just take 7 years and take it out of the process. That won't work with them. Their storylines are so intertwined and so intricate. We need to have they have a clear delineated timeline in everything that happens.
Wait. It's already been almost 7 years.
Right.
Because the Black Panther came before the snap. It's already been.
Remember, it was 5 years and she was gone.
Yeah, she got snapped.
Oh, okay.
That's she got snapped. Right. The royal family got snapped. They were all gone.
No, you're right.
So so she came back the same age she left. And with the movies where we are now with the TV shows, we realize, hell, we ain't even 7-8 months past yet.
Wait a minute. Hold on. It just made me think. So everyone that got snapped,
they didn't age.
When they came back exactly
same age.
I didn't think about that.
Same age.
So let's keep it. So let's keep the same way. The man dies of cancer.
Wait a minute. There is no cancer in Wakanda because they solved that a long time ago. They cured cancer. They didn't let nobody else know, but they cured that shit a long time ago.
No, did they ever say that? We actually don't know that. Right. My only thing with that would be though, Percy, is that the heart-shaped herb is just like the super soldier serum.
Right.
It helped him heal his body. His body was healed.
I'm telling you, it has to do something. It would have to be on a more quote unquote MCU spiritual level type of thing. Like he's going to be in another plane or something. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not.
Well, then the other way he could die is he died like his father did. He's doing something, and all.
If they want to kill him,
if they want to kill him off, they could do that.
That's if they kill him off, right? Instead of recasting him, but why not just recast him? I mean, at the end of the day, we have all grieved over Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
We know what he meant, but why not just recast T'Challa? Why not?
Because you want to know why? It's Marvel. So what Marvel's probably thinking is just like what they about to do moving forward is they're going to reboot Black Panther again.
They recast the Hulk though, Percy.
Right.
They
They
recast
recast
everybody.
James Rhodes.
Right.
Well, James.
But see, okay, you know what? And I get it because I was thinking the same thing, but there was a difference. They
Right.
had issues with those two individuals. It wasn't the beloved character.
Right.
So they had problems. What Terrence Howard wanted the same money that Robert
Right.
Downey
But it
Jr.
don't
got.
matter. It don't matter why they did it,
Well,
you
put it
know,
this way, Ed
financially or
Norton,
whatever.
they didn't like Ed Norton's Hulk. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody liked Ed Norton's
Actually,
Hulk.
Ed Norton, to my understanding, Ed Norton didn't want to do it. That's what I
Well,
thought.
Ed Norton didn't like
actually,
Ed Norton's Hulk.
Norton wanted him to be a more serious character, and they didn't. The MCO didn't want that,
How
and
much?
so
I mean,
that's
he was a
why.
lot. He was serious. How
Yeah,
much more
Ed
serious did he
Norton
want him to be?
wanted a more serious Hulk and everything, and he kind of felt they was adding too much, you know, I guess comical whatever and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's what the MCU is. There is a bartering between, you know, comical and being serious, whatever.
Oh my
and
God.
stuff like that. So
This is going to be a debate that's going to go on for a long time because there's so many arguments. And like I said, if I'm not mistaken, and Rod, I think you may know a little bit better. In the Two Kings storyline from the comics, Namor actually puts a hit out on T'Challa. And initially, I was saying that because that's the storyline that they were supposedly going with, that they could have just said, okay, the hit succeeded if they just didn't want to recast. But again, my vote at this point is that they should recast T'Challa. There needs to be a T'Challa in the MCU for phases 4 and 5. That character, T'Challa, needs to be engaged in the process. For me, for everybody to get the development to the level that they should and that they deserve in the storyline. Again, this is the MCU. We're talking the multiverse now that we already know. We've got 2 movies that are going to be, one TV show and a movie that are going to be directly tied to the fact that we now know that the multiverse, well, actually two movies with the Spider-Man and the Doctor Strange movie that are directly tied to the multiverse.
Right.
And Loki. And Loki,
right. And Loki's in a TV show. And look, it took Doctor Strange all of what? 5 minutes to go look at 14 million possibilities. I mean, you know, it shouldn't take him that long to find another relatively similar T'Challa in another multiverse.
Oh,
and they can bring him in.
Okay, but why in the hell would he go to another reality?
I wasn't even thinking
say,
like
hey,
going. Yeah,
come to this
I wasn't
one,
thinking
bro.
that either.
Why would he take the T'Challa out of that?
That sound like the Black Lightning's.
Well, no, I just think you need to recast it. But I'm saying at worst, that's the ways that they can do it.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to leave it as a Black Panther character. It won't be T'Challa, but it would be a character like. I mean, like I said, I'm in agreement now that they need to recast the role of Black Panther. So we won't have T'Challa. We will have someone that picks up the mantle of Black Panther.
Hold on. So you're saying don't recast T'Challa, but they need to bring a Black Panther in.
Yeah.
But when you look at the arguments, that's what they're looking at. They're not looking at per se T'Challa. I mean, T'Challa is Black Panther. So they're not looking at it being like someone that's going to be him. I'm thinking what's going to happen or what they could do.
Hold up. So my question is, do you all think they need to recast T'Challa? Because they're going to reach Black Panther. There will be a Black Panther. Regardless, we know that the character Black Panther is not going to go away.
Right.
They're trying to figure out the best way to do it. Personally, I think they need to recast T'Challa.
The best way to do it is to recast T'Challa, but do it a couple of years from now. You can have other movies come out before you do another Black Panther film.
Right.
But that's what I think.
Recast T'Challa like 2 years from now, where everybody will be a little bit better about it.
A little bit better about it. Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what I think is going to be Wakanda forever. See, that's the one thing that New Rockstars made a point of that kind of made a little sense. That, you know, let's say right now with this Wakanda forever, we may not get the T'Challa story. It may be a story about Wakanda, the people and things like that. And that's where, you know, kind of the opposing sides were. And I'm thinking possibly that is why we got the name Wakanda Forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
they're gonna probably dive more into something going on with Wakanda, because think about it, now that the world knows that Wakanda exists, you know what I'm saying, they're going to probably start trying to start getting threats from all sides and all kinds of stuff like that. So maybe just like you said, Rod, that we may not get a T'Challa story in this one. You know what I'm saying? It's like to let it, you know, filter out a little bit, people's emotions to come down, and maybe this would just be the first story in, you know, like a not so much non-T'Challa or non-Black Panther, but more based upon the people of Wakanda or what kind of threats they're getting, because now that the world sees them.
You can have a situation where, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So what I'm hearing from you guys, like, it sounds like the Fast and the Furious scenario.
Oh my God.
I'm just putting it out there.
What's that?
Like,
what do you
In
mean?
what way? With the Paul Walker thing?
Yeah, it's like he's there, but he's not there, and they just keep going to finally just said, you know what, he's gone.
I guess I can see it. Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, but okay. But as far as Marvel is concerned, remember we're dealing with superhero genre, number one. All right, so they can start off Wakanda Forever by saying, like Roy said earlier, T'Challa got attacked and he's hurt so much that you can't see him. You just see a dude wrapped up. You can just have a scene of a dude wrapped up in bandages or whatever, right? And then everybody's like, okay, well, we need a new king. Okay, so then you have the situation where this is how I'm thinking I would do it anyway, where you have Shuri get trained by Okoye to go into the tournament on a challenge day. She becomes the Black Panther, and then she tries to find out who's behind the hit on her brother, or who's behind the attempt on her brother's life. It could be, at this point, they can introduce Namor, because like you said, it could have been the Atlanteans. You can introduce Doom, because Doom tried to take him out as well. As a matter of fact, Doom's attack on T'Challa is why Shuri became the Panther in the comics, and he ended up being comatose. And
well,
and you can bring
we
the whole
do
thing
realize
about
the dude has a mask, right?
right, and
So
the whole thing
really,
right. Nicole's thing about the ancestral plane can come into play, because during that time which T'Challa was comatose, he was actually communing with Bast, the cat goddess, and she was talking with him about his responsibilities and about wearing the mantle, and said to him, do you see your sister wearing a mantle? Is it that you want the power? What is it that you want? She made him like admit, yes, I want to be the Panther. So there's a whole thing that they could put, if they really wanted to, they could take all that from the comics and put it in there. That's a pretty good movie for 2 hours, if you ask me, right?
Yeah.
So then you
absolutely.
Then you find out whether either it's Doom or Namor, whoever it is, right? She takes them out. She stops their plans, and you can have either one of those villains return in another film. Doom can return in a Fantastic Four film. Namor can come back in another Black Panther film or a Fantastic Four film, whatever. You know what I mean? By that time, because this new Black Panther movie is supposed to come out next year?
Next year.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out next year. So
by that time,
was it 23?
Has it been moved to 23? Either way, even better. That's 2 more years. So at that point, they will have found who they wanted to replace, to put in that role as T'Challa, right? And then they can continue on whatever they were doing. If they wanted to do Young Avengers with Shuri, they could do that. If they wanted to concentrate on Kang the Conqueror being a villain through Ant-Man or whatever, then they can concentrate on that. But
July 8, 2022. Sorry.
It is,
okay.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It is 2022.
So enough time will have passed that people would be okay with the fact that they have somebody else in this role. Like I don't think anybody reasonable would say, okay, well, we can't put anybody else in this role anymore. We just can't have this character anymore. Like, to me, that's unreasonable.
Do you think that petition is viable, the one that they got going around? Because they said that apparently they've got whatever this petition is that people signed called Recast T'Challa. Is that something that's like legit, or or legit. Is it just kind of like something that's just kind of like people fans is doing?
No, it's on change.org. It's legit. It's a legit petition. It's on change.org.
Really? Wow. Yep. Okay, I didn't even know that. I just knew that
real
there
quick,
was.
Real quick, we got a shout out to Uncle John, the grumpy old nerd. He says we all look so pretty on his phone. Uncle John is checking us out, so just want to shout him out.
On his secret mission.
Right.
So that's what it is. So everybody, I think you all are right. I think the thing would be is figuring out a way to tie the process in, because what we have noticed, or what we have to think about, and I don't think anybody has mentioned this, is Wakanda has become a very integral part to the protection of this planet.
Right.
Because at this point, they are the only ones who have the technology to actually stand against any of the people that come from off world.
And a super soldier.
You know, right. And
wait a minute. Well, why do you say, okay, well, when you say that they're the only ones that have the technology to stand,
Jesus said, hold up.
I mean, there's been many movies so far where other characters, other Avengers have stood.
But you're talking individuals. I'm talking about on a large scale to stave off invasion. Listen, Captain America ain't stupid. There was a reason he went to Wakanda to have, besides the fact that Shuri's the smartest person, to have this stuff done. Because he knew there was a galactic army on their way.
Yeah.
Right.
And the only place we got our ass whooped almost by this galactic army before. And if it wasn't for a nuke that we hit to destroy their command ship, we was out of gas.
Mm.
They knew they had to fight with those people. The Asgardians because even remember, that's the other thing that people got to remember. Even the Asgardians, even though they snapped half of their people back, they had already lost almost half of their people.
Yeah.
Like the sister.
No, absolutely.
But then they had like 2 ships.
But but then they got Captain Becky, Captain Marvel, who's just like put her fist through the fucking ship,
Oh,
I'm just saying, she just, she came on the scene and she just, put her fist through, the ship was like, hold up, I'll be right back. Let me take care of this shit. Sorry, I was saving other worlds. I'm here,
Right.
And even the sisters was like, where the fuck she been?
Well, I mean, you
so
have
now,
a point,
but
though,
now
Roy.
we got the sister, right? But now we got the black sister.
Maybe
from
that's gonna be part of it. When we're thinking about the secret invasion and so on like that, because we got all of that coming in, and I'm thinking, well, I mean, think about it. When they had that one fight on Wakanda soil, you know what I'm saying, and stuff. I mean, at this point,
right?
They have think about it. Cat's shield only could get broken by Thanos's little sword or whatever like that. Thanos is the one that cracked that thing and so on like that. So it's like,
and that was only because it was made by the dwarf.
Oh, what the?
It was made by all of those great weapons. The
guys,
were made by the
little man. Yeah. No, I got what you're saying. But I mean, at this point, I'm in line with them recasting T'Challa. But it's like, for me, it's like really trying to not even differentiate, but it's like I keep going back and forth between recasting T'Challa or just bringing out a new Black Panther. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's where it seems like it keeps going side to side for me, and like I can't.
I'm excited either way. I mean, I'm excited either way, what they do, I mean, they do what they do. Marvel, we always talk about it. Marvel just, keeps roping us in. So
we believe they will figure it out and do the right thing.
So
you messed me up with Captain Becky. I'm still on that.
I say reboot. I think they're gonna reboot. They're gonna reboot his character. I think
you're saying they're gonna reboot. You're saying they're gonna recast T'Challa, the actual T'Challa.
No, I don't know. Well, yeah, they're gonna in about 5 years from now.
Okay.
I'm kind of going with Roy, but then that's that Black Lightning crap. He's wrapped up in bandages, and then you take the bandages off, and now is B. Jordan sitting there talking about, I'm ready to go fight. Some bullshit like that. You know, that's cheesy.
Man.
You know, I kind of agree with Auntie Nicole, basically just saying, leave it alone, move the story forward, and then just like right now, cut it off, reboot some stuff. The project is to reboot him, and then just bring it all in. Because no matter what, like DJ saying, we're gonna watch this shit anyway. So, but I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just speculation and having theory dropping. If you want,
but I really believe, because I think, and maybe it's just me, because I just think if you make him vulnerable, and what's the worst vulnerable? To get cancer, get stage 4 cancer, and there's no cure. They couldn't cure it. They just couldn't.
I think the
they could do a
media
lot of
might
stuff.
have
They could do a lot of stuff, but this is the one thing they couldn't cure.
But
So
I
far,
think they
cancer
wouldn't
has only
use
killed
that
one
out
guy
of,
in Marvel.
sensitivity of the real person. They probably would not use that as a storyline in order to maintain some level of being sensitive out of the fact that that's what he actually died from. You know what I'm saying?
He died from syphilis. How about that?
You know what? I was just about to say that, and I was like, "No, that's going too far, DJ." So thank you, Uncle Percy. I'm not the one that went too far this time.
I'm going to channel my inner Uncle John and be like, okay, so before we drop down that rabbit hole,
too late.
Comment.
What you mean before we drop down? We pulling a ripcord on a parachute. We down so far.
If they don't recast T'Challa, the most logical format for them to do anything would be for Killmonger to come back some way or another, whether he's from a multiverse universe or whether it's, hey, T'Challa actually
never
saved him.
died.
Right. T'Challa actually saved him because he realized that we were wrong for leaving you where you were.
Mm-hmm.
We now need to bring you into the village to give you what you actually need. And hell, if they did it for Bucky, who was programmed and stuff like that, they can actually do it with the first show of mercy from
Absolutely.
the king of not killing him. Because again, as I've stated, we have to remember, as king, he was within his rights to do every damn thing he did.
Yeah.
He did not break any laws.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. No. Seriously, here's a good one. Okay, so Killmonger pulls out the spear, right? And he kills over, and that's what we see. But T'Challa, when the CIA dude, got shot in the spine or whatever, he put the little bead in there. Right. He put the bead in there to maintain him. So the scene that we see is that T'Challa has seen Killmonger basically see the error of his ways. He puts the bead in to maintain his life. And then when we talk about the challenge to be Black Panther, T'Challa doesn't challenge Killmonger. Killmonger goes for the throne, and basically, T'Challa says, this is my, like you said, down the line, however many years, T'Challa says, this is my successor,
handed him the mantle of Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
and hands Killmonger, not the name Killmonger, whatever his name actually
is.
Be
Black Panther at that point.
He would be Black Panther.
Right.
Michael B. Jordan would take over as Black Panther, and not be challenged, because at this point he has seen the error of his ways and the fact that it can be done in a way without killing everybody, in the world, just to bring Wakanda, to the forefront. You
I
know,
mean, Killmonger
so you could
is
bring.
family, so I mean, you know what I'm saying?
He's
He is,
he's within
family,
all
so
rights.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just happened to bring that up because I saw the reviews and I just thought it was interesting because it kind of played both sides, because New Rockstar's version or ideas of it would be the more commercial way of going into the whole thing. But E-Man, he made a lot of sense about like how we was talking about for the future of like even our children and stuff, and our children's children, they get to see, you know, yet another character that is not belittled on screen and stuff like, you know, stuff like that. And I said, you know what? Yeah, because I mean, it was, you have to admit, a lot of people was just proud to sit there and be able to see.
Oh, absolutely. We all were.
You know what I'm saying? It was just an amazing moment.
To put a pin in this discussion, to Nicole's point, to everyone's point, ultimately, it's not like there's one Superman. It's not like there's one Batman. Hell, the prime example of this particular situation, you have an Oscar-winning actor play the Joker and died, and they recast it.
Yes.
You know, it's not like the precedent isn't there.
Right.
And when it first happened, when he first died, we all agreed it was just an emotional situation. We were just like, we lost.
Right.
You're losing possibly the greatest technical actor of this generation.
Right.
You know, I doubt anyone would argue that of the people who are in it. And ironically, if I'm not mistaken, Chadwick's actually in our age. Well, Chadwick's like 40 or so, I believe. It's not like he's young. Chadwick was actually 40 years old. He's 40 plus when he died. So, you know, he was considered with the roles. He has played some of the most iconic roles in Black history.
Right.
Yes.
Well, actually,
yes.
not even
Thurgood Marshall. Yeah. James Brown.
X, right. He didn't do Malcolm X and didn't do Martin Luther King.
Jackie Robinson.
Jackie Robinson.
Which is fine because Malcolm and Luther, you know, Martin Luther King have been done, you know what I'm saying, over and over.
Yeah. And so I think that was why people were saying don't recast. But as we took more into it, we've all got our opinions on it, so we hope that's going to go. So we jumped down that rabbit hole, we climbed back out, and
hey man, hold your camera steady, man. You're making me dizzy.
Look,
no, I mean we should have had a disclaimer about, you know, people with you know, that could, I don't know what the condition is, but you know, yeah, I think he's holding it with his feet.
Motion sickness.
Yeah, something right.
It shows need to come with a seizure warning.
A seizure warning. That's what I'm talking about. The seizure warning, because he holding it with his toes and shit. You know, making us seasick.
Gosh. So, quick question. Did you guys have a chance to look at that other video I sent, which was like some of the leaks from the new Batman movie?
I'm not looking at Crystal. What is it? Sparkly Batman? I don't want to see Sparkly Batman.
I don't think any of us really care about Sparkly Batman and what he's doing.
No.
Well, I just thought it was interesting because they had one of the costumes I thought was like, okay, where are they going with it? Because the Joker costume looked, I don't know if you ever saw that movie, The Zodiac Killer, you know, the guy who did The Zodiac Killer, and they had an image of him with like a hood on with some kind of little pendulum thing or whatever like that.
Really?
It almost looked like that. And
that's
I'm
the
like,
Joker costume?
Yeah.
He's got a hoodie?
It's almost like a hood type of thing. It's covering. It's not a painted face. It's like a mask that he has on, like a hood type
like
of mask. No, it's black or green or something like that. It's like you know, they show.
What I'm saying it's like the Red Hood is what you're saying.
Like the Zodiac Killer, basically.
Do you know who the Red Hood is?
No, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Google Batman Red Hood. They're going that we don't care about Sparkly Batman. I'm sorry. You know what?
I'm just saying that it's like I guess they must be doing a very beginning type thing, a pre. You know, like say when
supposedly
Batman
it's supposed
first
to be early
started,
Batman. Yeah,
right?
Like early Batman.
Okay. Which would make it probably the Red Hood gang.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
That was one of his early storylines. There's actually a character called the Red Hood.
Okay, I'm
That
gonna have to look
many
that up.
people have speculated that was actually the beginning of the Joker.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I don't know.
They're doing the Millennium Batman. He's gonna be at home, chilling and shit, and Alfred is gonna be like, "You think you're gonna go out and solve some crimes today, help some people?" Nah, I was just gonna sit around. I'm good. I'm just gonna,
I'm gonna fall off my motorcycle.
Right, I'm just gonna, I'm just chilling, Alfred's like, well, there's people out there suffering. He's like, yeah, I know.
I'm still doing my research on DC, by the way. I'm still doing my research. I haven't forgotten.
Still working on the ride.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
Oh, man.
It's a lot of names, bro. It's a lot of names.
You never gave me, I don't remember getting a list from you remember you supposed to send me something.
Uh-oh.
Me?
No, Roy,
okay.
for the upcoming project that you got.
Email. Yeah, the email. Send her an email.
Something.
Oh, you talking about the questions for the Dirt Out?
Yeah, the question thingies or something or other.
Did we just? Oh, see, DJ was the only one that actually responded, so I didn't see a message on.
No, I said I'd do it the last time. I said I'd do it.
She said no, but actually, I remember her saying.
Yeah, but I actually sent
Yeah,
information.
he
I didn't get anything to look up or anything. I never got anything.
He sent me your email is what I'm saying. He sent me I asked to send me the emails, and I guess that's what I missed. And I'm pretty sure I have yours. I just have to. I'll do it tonight.
Okay.
So yeah, but we're definitely getting on this thing, man. So, is there any other burning topic? We definitely wanted to get into the recasting of T'Challa conversation tonight. We know we're without Uncle John, but we are fastly approaching the end of the show.
Well, I've been wanting to talk about the Nevers since forever, but nobody is watching the damn show.
I'm gonna watch an episode tonight. I'm gonna watch episode 1 tonight.
I'm gonna
watch episode 1.
What is it on?
HBO. HBO Max.
Yeah. Nevers. Okay, the Nevers is what it's called.
Yeah. The
DJ,
Nevers.
Give me a synopsis of the Nevers that make me want to watch the Nevers.
Okay. All right. Not superheroes necessarily, but people with abilities. An event happens and it affects random people, and so random people have abilities. It's in old England, Victorian England.
Oh, okay.
But there's some badass fights. There's some nice technology, and the show comes into the future, science fiction wise. So lasers and that type of deal, and it connects from one world to another through time and space, and it is more than what you see. If you saw the trailer and you're like, I don't want to see some old Victorian ass white people. No, it is more than that. It is much more
Victoria
than that.
And Becky.
Right.
Or Karen.
Victoria and Becky kicks ass. Wait a minute. First of all, there's 2 Victoria and Beckys that kick ass. One of them is a badass super soldier in a hoop skirt, and then the other one is she can build shit. She's in old Victorian England with a Tesla.
Yeah,
she just
Stark.
built. Yeah, she's like Tony Stark and shit in Victorian England and shit. And then you got all these other, people who have these abilities that they have, gotten. They call it the turn. Everybody has a different turn. And then the villains.
I thought it was the touch.
They're touched.
They're called the touched.
Yeah.
Yeah, the touch.
The group of them are called the touched. But their ability is called the turn. What they experience personally, what they can do It's called Their Turn. This is their turn. This is what they can do.
Okay.
This is what the spores gave them.
Like quirks in My Hero Academia.
So it's like origin story. Like this person, this spore, this ability. They all have their different turns and stuff, but they got a diverse diverse crew. There's black, there's Asian, there's what the fuck is going on over there?
You talking, dude?
Did you get a pain in your toe? Okay, so so they got all these different abilities and stuff like that. But yeah, you caught a cramp. So but I mean, there's that feeling. There's okay. Here's the part that I want to say that Uncle John's not here right now, so I can say this. It's a Josh Whedon production. And
I got a little bit of a problem with him too, to be honest with you, but it's cool.
I got you. But the thing is that they don't have Josh Whedon in any of the background, the behind the scenes, the cast talking about none. They have Josh Whedon in none of this shit. They're like, yeah, we already know what Josh Whedon brings, to the social media aspect. So he is nowhere to be found in any of the, conversations or whatever. But gotta give a man his due. He knows how to tell a good story. He knows how to put together a good cast. And it's off the chain. If you could just watch the first episode, I'm gonna do it tonight. I guarantee
the first episode
you will.
Good,
thank you.
Watch it.
If you just watch the first episode, you will be hooked. I'm telling you, it is.
Really, the third episode is the best one. It's the third one or the fourth one. Yeah. It's
Uncle Percy.
Is it like
so you guys are watching
season
the
already,
Come on.
or is it? Are they still in season right now, or what?
They just had the season finale.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they've only had six
episodes.
6 episodes so far. I'm not gonna spoil shit because it is absolutely worth 6.
So all the episodes, but I'm saying
all 6 are out.
Okay.
All the episodes are out. All 6 are out. The season finale was just this Sunday. This past Sunday was the season finale. It is phenomenal. It'll take you here and there, and I cried twice. I'm telling you, the shit is the bomb.
Really? Wow.
I'm serious. It's really good. Auntie Nicole, I would not lie to you.
Okay.
You will dig it.
Okay. Can you dig it?
and so here's what I want to do. I want us to end on something that I found very funny. Can you guys see this? It's a picture of Thanos where he's sitting in Marvel Endgame, and he said he thought, Endgame.
You gotta share your screen, bro.
Huh?
Can you share your screen?
I see it. Well, I'm looking at
I got you.
Yeah. It says, I thought by eliminating half the life, the other half would thrive. And Falcon looks at him and says, why kill half the universe when you can just double up the resources? You got to do better, Thanos. Did anybody else think about that?
Right.
I'm not even gonna say that I did, because I'm not gonna lie. Thanos wasn't completely off with his thinking, because people are using up the resources on this world. Now, mind you, I'm not saying kill half the world, or get rid of them. But
you
when you
look
at the resources and so on, I mean, you can understand where his mentality is going. But see, he's a glass half full kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? And stuff, or half empty, rather, I should say.
Okay. On that note, Auntie Nicole, I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
There, in my conspiracy theory aspect, when these rich people get together at those little conventions they go to with the billionaires and stuff, and they talk amongst themselves about world problems, all of them think that the number one problem is not climate change, it's overpopulation.
And poor people, yes. And that's why the
and
movie The
poor people.
Purge is out, if you ask me.
Oh no, but what I so I would be remiss if I didn't say that maybe the powers that be, the Illuminati, or what the fuck is okay, never mind.
Bilderbergers. When they had the
but
Bilderberger meetings.
no, but I'm saying the COVID was a way to get rid of some of the population, blah blah blah. But my thing is that what they don't want to do is they don't want to educate the world so that these hidden geniuses and engineers can find a way for us all to live with the resources that we have instead of still living on fossil fuels and all of this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But what I would like to, Uncle Roy, what I would like to end on is that our friend, our comedian for the ages, generations, Paul Mooney, has said goodbye. And I posted, on my page, I'm not going to cry for the man because that would be a disservice. I'm going to laugh my ass off. I'm going to watch, some Richard Pryor, some old Richard Pryor. I'm going to watch some old Paul Mooney, and I'm going to laugh my ass off because Paul Mooney gave us a lifetime of laughter. So I am not going to do him a disservice by crying. I'm going to laugh for Paul Mooney because, that he was the man.
Agreed. No better way to send it out. Till next week, you guys. We appreciate you tuning in.
We're not gonna do like we do Uncle John, Roy. We ain't gonna stop you. Go ahead. Continue.
No, go ahead. We ain't gonna stop you.
We ain't gonna stop you.
Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Nerd. Mr. and Mrs. Nerd, happy anniversary.
So until next week, when our fearless leader returns, we believe. You guys have a great week. We'll see you. Take care.
Same.